Hello, 10A. Now that we've gone over all of those details, in terms of how to compare and contrast and the process of essay writing, as well as writing appropriate paragraphs, we're now going to use the planning your essay to complete your research helper. So what you'll need to have when you're doing your research, and I'll give you about a week or so to actually complete your research. So make sure that you have your essay plan at the ready. So have that printed out and with you at all times. This will be a helpful guide to ensure that you're going to do the right thing for your actual essay. All right, so first I want to give you an example of what a really good research helper actually looks like. So this is from level 2. This is one of the students up in level 2, and she's completed this just recently. So you can see that we've got the author. If there isn't an author, they've actually popped in just the article name in there as well, or the organisation. Then we've got the website, article name, date of publication, and the date that it was retrieved. This is a little bit different to what you're going to do, but I really wanted you to focus here on the dot points. You see here, she has not copied and pasted. She has not copied and pasted. She's found the most important information in the article and written it in her own words, and short words as well. For instance, in 700 BC, earliest drugs trafficked to China by ancient Arabs. 16th century British. These are not full sentences, but she's just grabbed the most important information out, see, all the way through. Here, she's using a particular quote, so she's used 4 pillars. Here, she's looked at harm reduction. There's actually 2 points. She's put them in point form, okay? This is exactly what you need to do. If you copy and paste from the original article, the big problem is going to be that you're likely to plagiarize in your essay. Also, there is a mark for your essay for your planning, for your preparation, which includes doing your research. So for this research, I'm actually going to give you a mark. If you've copied and pasted, you won't get a strong mark. You may in fact fail that aspect of the essay writing process. So use your beautiful note-taking skills, identify what the main ideas are, and then pop them into your notes or dot point notes, okay? So I know that you have done a research helper in the past for the endangered animals, but this is going to be a little bit more thorough. So I just want to take you through the process in great detail, and you should have a copy of this document as well. So, research and note-taking tick list. First of all, you need to write a good question. So you can see that I'm using Google as my search engine. Now I'm going to pop back and have a look at my plan just to see what questions that I think would be appropriate. So what sort of fast food is available in China? How popular is fast food in China? So all of this is all the information that I'd like. So having these questions ready are really, really important. You can also see what sort of things that I need for my background. So when did China start getting fast food? So I need all of this information. And having a look, this is all the detailed information that I need to write my essay. I'm going to start off going, okay, so I'll choose one of these questions, go back to Google. Because I did all this pre-preparation, it's going to make my research really, really easy. So I've started most popular fast food in China. So I'll start off with that question. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to review the research and choose the best article. So when I've pressed this, I've come up with maybe 1,500 different possible articles that would relate to it. But I'm going to have a look at all of these 4 that I'm looking at. So as I'm scrolling through, I'm going to have a look at the website. In this case, this one is Wikipedia, and we all know that we do not use Wikipedia because anyone can publish an article in Wikipedia, which means that it can't really be quantified. We can't really confirm that it's correct details. This one is www.eta.com. Doesn't really sound like an academic document. This one's called factsandDetails.com, and that's interesting. So I'm going to have a look at a bit more detail. So KFC, First Western Food, popular. This one looks like it's actually going to be really interesting and really relevant. So this is the one that I'm going to click on first. Next thing, we're going to scan. So we're going to scan the article to make sure it's got the right information on the topic. So as I'm going through, I'm like, okay, China, 48 billion. Oh, that looks good. Oh, 41% of people eat fast food. Oh, that's really interesting. 1,000 years ago. All of this is really relevant to everything that I've got in my planning essay. So it's got things on statistics, it's got things on how many people eat it, it's got when KFC started. This is very interesting. Okay, so I think, yes, this is worthwhile. I'm going to continue reading this. However, if you open it up and it starts advertising KFC or talking about something that's not relevant, you know that you'll close that down, go back to your original research, and then choose a different article. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do before I forget, even though I'm very excited about this information, I need to make sure that I write down all of the essential details in my research helper. So I'm going to find out the author. So I've put down the author of it, the website, the article name. So you can see fast foods in China, and the website is Facts and Details. Date retrieved is yesterday, because this is when I built this document for you. So I'm going to put down yesterday's date, and that's all I'm going to do for the moment. Okay, so just going to pop my essential detail before I start reading my reading my article. The reason being, if you get excited and then keep moving through all the articles trying to get all the information and you've forgotten to write out where you got the information, that means you're not going to be able to do a proper reference list and you won't be able to do correct in-text referencing. So the next thing that we're going to do is going to highlight the main ideas, most important and relevant information. So I'm going to go through and highlight anything that I think is really interesting. I'm not going to copy and paste. I'm going to highlight only the most important. You see here, I haven't highlighted the entire paragraph because that's not the most important thing. What I need to know is that the industry is worth $48 billion a year. Fantastic. I need that the first one was opened up 1,000 years ago. I don't need all of this other information. So you're only highlighting the main details that are relevant to your question. So now we're going to look at how we're going to take notes. So align the notes with the questions that they could answer. So here we can see, when was the first fast food opened in China, how much money in fast food industry, why fast food is popular, and the difference of Chinese to fast food. Again, all of these are relevant to my plan. So I can have a look at all of the things that I wanted to find out from my research, and I can see in this article, oh, I can get this, and I can get this, and I can get this, okay? So align your notes with the questions that they could answer. Again, refer to your plan. This is also going to help when you write your detailed plan. So that's going to be the next process we're going to look at once we've completed our research properly. Only write the necessary words. You don't need either, then, before, okay? We don't need full sentences, we just need the idea. Use your paraphrasing skills, don't copy and paste. And if it's a quote, make sure you use quotation marks so that you remember that it's a quote. Okay, and so from this information that I've written, that I've highlighted up here, I can now note take into my own words. So when was first fast food opened in China? And you notice that I've just written FF. I know what that means. It just makes it a lot quicker for me to write my notes. So, and here we've got the answer, 1,000 years. How much is this? Over 48 billion year. So it means per year. Why it's popular? And there's a couple of reasons. So the lifestyle is changing and there's less time to cook at home. And you can see that both of these, I've actually used quotation marks because it's from something that someone has said in the article. So I need to make sure that there's quotation marks there so I know that they're actually a quote. And the difference of Chinese to fast food, China. So you can see Chinese, but I've just written Chin equals need to know the menu. And fast food is simple and standardized. All of this information I got from this really wonderful article. So you can see what questions can be answered in notes in my words. I've just taken that from this section here. Okay, so that bottom section that we've done, that's just completing this section here. Okay, and so that's all we really need to do. And then once you've done that and you've got all of the information from that article, you can go back and start looking at the next article, and so on and so forth, until you have all of the information you need to prove everything in your plan. Okay, you need to make sure that you've got an article or some information for each of the areas that you're going to discuss in your essay. Remember, this is a research essay, which means it's not about your opinion. It's entirely about getting research to prove what your point is. So the last thing that we need to do is to complete our research helper. If I can open that, just bear with me a moment. There we go. Okay, and so as usual, you'll have this research helper. Feel free, if you want to use on the Word document so that you can give more space and you can write more information, that's absolutely fine. Also note that you can actually move the size to make it bigger or smaller. For instance, because you want really most of the space to be over here. I don't want you to have a really long website and then this to be all the way over here and then I don't have any space here. So make sure it's easy for you and everybody else to read. Make sure that you do use your short notes and that you've filled out all of this information appropriately. Note that you do require at least 5 references. So you need 5 articles to refer to. Those articles need to come from different websites. Okay. All right, so I'll give you the rest of the class to start working on this and I'll give you about a week to complete it. Thank you very much for your time. As usual, I'm available on WeChat. So if you do have any questions or you're confused about anything at all, please don't hesitate to contact me and let me know. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next class.